emotions. Fuck off. Hello, lovely YouTube peoples. I am back for another video. It's been like almost 10 days again, just like my last stint. If y'all were here for an actual tarot video, go ahead and exit out because that ain't what this is. This isn't going to be a tarot video. This is going to be a life chat video. Oh, shit. I'm normally somebody who uploads like, every 2 days. So I usually have like 4 videos a week. And here in July, I think maybe I've had like 2. There are some people that are probably like, oh, why? And other people that don't notice at all and don't give a fuck. Don't blame me. Don't blame me at all. YouTube's a large place. Go find your crowd, whatever. Also, something that I'm like very conscientious of is in this new filming setup, I'm on a wooden bench. So if I rip a fart, everyone's gonna know. What's been going on with me? Oh shit, y'all. I am blessed in innumerable ways, y'all, and I'm aware of this, okay? It's not lost on me. Not lost on me. But every now and then you hit a point in life, like a patch where you're just like, well, there's my limit. I think I found it. I think I done fucked off and found it. From like mid-May to mid-June, that whole month worth of videos that y'all saw on this channel, mid-May to mid-June, I pre-filmed in like a 3-day time span, right? I was just doing like pounding out like 5 videos a day, and having them scheduled to upload because that was supposed to carry me over from when I knew I wouldn't have my laptop hooked up to when I knew I would have it hooked up. We'll jump into that. So me actually sitting down and like filming an actual tarot video, I've only really done that once, which was my creep show art video that's like my last upload. Outside of that, I really haven't even touched my tarot cards outside of private readings like in a month and a half. It's been a hot minute. Rewind. Here I am going in my mental Rolodex trying to figure out where to start. April. My birthday happened in April. It was a beautiful time. The 17th. I say that because I got home from my vacation in April to find that my boyfriend's cat that was 20 years old, he had 2 kitties, 20 years old and 19 years old. That the 20-year-old Kiki had basically collapsed on the kitchen floor and he was not looking good. And we rushed essentially, literally in 5 minutes home from vacation to the emergency vet. And he passed away at the emergency vet in my boyfriend's arms. My boyfriend being 40 years old, this cat was 20, so he literally had this kitty half of his entire life, And I only had the benefit of loving this Kiki for 1 year, but still, if y'all are animal people, if you know and love a baby for a year, it hurts you whenever they pass, but I'm not trying to compare my pain to my boyfriend's. He wouldn't even care, but I still care because I'm not trying to play that game, play that angle. I'm the largest victim. Where's my fucking pen? No, fuck that. But anyway, and so that happened on April 18th, and that was already kind of jarring. And then 11 days later, his other kitty, the 19-year-old one, she basically, I think, was grieving the loss of her mate. They were besties too for their whole lives. And so she had quit eating and she literally just kind of fell into multiple organ failure and she passed away 11 days later on April 29th. So it was like by April 29th, it was like, okay, my lease ended on my rental 2 weeks before our new house was ready for us to move in. So for 2 weeks, I was going to plan to stay in his house that he was owning, which I did. But still, that meant that at the end of May, I moved. And then 2 weeks later, I literally moved house again. I moved house twice in 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks. The house that we moved out of, the 2-week house I was in, we had to get it ready to sell and have it put on the market. So you got to get that thing like squeaky clean. So anyway, so that was all like, okay, got to do that. Be on that grind. In that same time period where I was moving twice, I had 3 significant dental procedures. Okay. I had all of my wisdom tooth extracted. I had a root canal and a crown put on. I want explodey face to stop. Got silver linings here because we're like, hey, pretty sure I'm going to get the security deposit back on my rental. Spoiler alert, I got it in today. I got my full security deposit back. Cha-ching, cha-ching, that's a win, girl. Hi. I'm trying to move house twice with like surgery mouth where I'm literally only eating purees and bemoaning my existence without my real food. First world problems, right? And then my dad started complaining of major shortness of breath and basically a very, very quick loss of mobility. So he went from being able to like just go and do, and he always called it like plundering and piddling. He's like, I'm a piddle. I'm going outside, I'm piddling, I'm plundering, I'm into something. And I'm like, yeah, ooh, daddy going to Walmart. He's on the prowl. He's on the prowl at Walmart. You know, like he's always going out and doing some shit. And he went from not even being able to walk from the recliner to his kitchen table, which is like 5 feet apart without just like being so winded. And he got like pre-syncopal, you know, like where he would stand up and he would almost faint, you know, all the color would drain out of his face and he would be like leaning up on stuff like, you know, about to faint. And we're like, Daddy, this ain't good. You need to, you know, you need to get looked at. You need to. And so after about a week of him like decompensating, he goes to the emergency room on Friday. They took him to the doctor and they only ran like half-ass tests because they just automatically assumed, hey, sounds like heart failure, sounds like AFib, you know, along those things, heart thing. So they didn't look into a lot of stuff. So basically they're like, you know, good for you, you're all right, you're not going to die overnight, go home. They sent him home, but they didn't check like hemoglobin and platelets and things like this in a normal like panel, blood panel. They didn't check this. So Friday, you know, doesn't look well. We brought him home like in my boyfriend's car, and as we pick him up to like help him go inside, he made it 5 feet, almost passed out, and literally pissed himself because, and he would hate that I said that, you know, because it would make him like, he was already embarrassed, but you know, just going off of like how something can be scary, you know, I was scared. And so I don't want to be getting emotional on this. Fuck. So let's get it together. I'm going to have to edit this to filth. That's scary. And so we brought a chair outside to help him go from the carport to the stairs and sit, and then the stairs up to the top of the stairs and sit, and then to the kitchen table and sit, you know. And we're like, you know, you shouldn't be this bad off coming right back from the emergency room. It shouldn't be like this. So we checked on him Saturday, and as long as he's sitting down, you know, he was fine and he didn't want to go anywhere. We're like, okay. But Sunday, so here it was just 2 days later, he's like, I can't, you know, I can't breathe. He was getting confused. And finally, B, and y'all, I'm sure all y'all know B, my twin sister, she ended up calling 911. She was like, I'm not comfortable with this. Like, you need to go back to the ER again. And so they got the ambulance to take him back to the ER. Yada, yada, yada. After a stressful 10 to 11 days in the hospital, test, we get back the diagnosis of AML, which is acute myeloid leukemia. So also found out that my dad has leukemia after all of this boom, 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 boom. And it was like that day that he got his diagnosis. I live, out of all my family members, I live closest to the hospital. So he was calling me most often, you know, to help him out with stuff. And so he called me and he had said something like, oh, bring me something. And whatever it was like something that didn't seem all that important. So I didn't really think too hard of it. And I was like, okay, I'll be there soon. And I got up there about an hour later, and I think that might have just been a front, you know, for him to just get me up there. Cause he was like, they just told me right before I called you that I've got leukemia. And I really wish that they had waited till you were here or somebody was here with me before they told me, because like, because I was alone and I was scared. And you know, you want to be like mad at somebody, to like blame shift, you know, to be like, you know, like fuck the medical personnel, because who would do that? Who would tell him at this time? And you know, but they didn't do anything wrong, you know. That's just kind of how do they know when he's going to have a visitor or not to wait and say something like that? You know, he's the patient. He has autonomy and authority. So it's like, you know, I'm just gonna collect these here on my shoulder. So, ignore that. But I visited the man like every single day, all 11 days. I went every single day. And some days I went, 3 of those days I went twice a day. Not sitting there being like, oh yeah, virtue signaler, yeah, pat on the back. No, just meaning like, out of the fear that like, what if that's the last time I get to see him? You know what I mean? You don't know. You just don't know. You don't know in general when people are well. But especially when you got someone who's in their late 70s that's going through that, and it's that bad. Like, for medical folks watching this, his hemoglobin was like 5, and his platelets were, God, I don't even remember. His platelets, I think, were in the single digits too. I mean, shit, his platelets were only like 16 when they discharged him from the hospital. I mean, it's like low, and that's normal for leukemia. I mean, that's just what it is. But you know, and we're also like afraid if he falls at the house, you know, you get one good bump and you're bleeding out because you don't have platelets to clot it. Well, there you go, you just bled out, you know. And he's transfusion dependent. Let me get on with my story. So basically every other day, essentially, he needs to get blood or platelets, or, you know, he's not going to make it, you know, and he's got to start chemo. And so that night, after I found out his diagnosis, I took it really hard, compounded off of all these things that were kind of like adding up, that I was trying to like keep my head above water and keep it pushing. And it finally broke me. And like the last month or so, I had been like, my blood pressure had been steadily getting higher and higher because I was trying to do more and more. It started out like, you know, 150 over 90-ish, you know, and then it went up to like 160 over 110. And then, you know, like over like the course of say 4 to 5 weeks, right? And that night I took it because I was like, I'm freaking the fuck out. And so, Alex made me take it, and it was some like really ridiculously high number where he was like, we're going to the ER, and the ER clocked it at 175 over 111. So anyway, went there, and then they're like, well, you know, because you're thin and you're fit, and so you shouldn't have high blood pressure, you know. So they're all looking for like secondary hypertension things, you know, testing for all of that. So what could be going on beyond the blood pressure? And so as far as they know right now, it's just stress induced. But suffice it to say, y'all, amid all my blessings, there's so many good things here. There's so many good things because like my dad could have passed away that Sunday if B hadn't have called 911. If he had stayed home, he would have, because at hemoglobin 5, well, he would have faded out into the night. He was just losing blood. You know what I mean? Oh, Snotty McSnotterson. I've seen some messages where people have written really nice things and included me in on it. I've gotten some DMs that were really kind. I've gotten emails from people that are very, very kind and asking me about stuff. And even some of y'all that have been like so sweet to like donate. Like, we didn't set up a GoFundMe or anything, but like, you know, be like, oh, here's a little cash for supper tonight because I know you're probably feeling stressed. I mean, like, stuff like that. I wrote back to people and I was like, it made me like ugly cry, and I think they thought I was kidding, and I was like, I'm not kidding, like it did. And please don't interpret any of this as like, send me money. Don't, you know, like, don't be this, not what, I'm not soliciting, you know, I'm not soliciting. I'm just thankful is what this is. This is gratitude. This is not buy more encyclopedias or a vacuum that'll literally suck up my carpet fiber one time and choke out. I didn't want to come on here and be like, you know, excuse time. But I know I'm burping. I'm always burping. Count on me. Trust. This is a lot of what's going on behind the scenes. Why, you know, I every time I've sat down to try and film something, there's been a couple times where I've started a video and I got like 10 minutes in, but it's like, it just feels disconnected. It feels like it's falling flat. There's not really as much humor in it. It's more just like straight to business kind of tarot, and other tarot readers on the internet do that well. You know, they do serious tarot. They do deep, like heartfelt, visceral tarot. They do even like cheap horoscope tarot. Sure. None of those things are me. I talk a lot of trash. And I don't want to be posting stuff that's like super downer, because I know that all of y'all are going through stuff, you know. So I know I'm not the only one going through some stuff. I know everybody is. So this is not me whining, but at the same time, this is me whining. So this is enough whinging for now. I'm hoping to get back into the tarot stuff, back into something that's more like funny and lighthearted, and something that can get us all through it. You know what I mean? I had to vent. I had to vent. All right, anyway. Thank y'all for sitting through it. I love y'all. I appreciate it. Bye for now. But for now, I felt like I had to do kind of a dump. So, well, a dump. Can't. I found the words. So, okay. Okay. Oh my God, I have a nose whistle. Alex, you want to pop in with a hat?
This is so fucking stupid. If you want, you can film this, you can put it in.
There,
Oh my
there
God,
you
that
are.
was stupid. The fucking transition lenses and the goddamn head. We have to do something. I'm gonna have to come in fresh. I don't want people to go screw them.
Okay. She pooped. Oh my God, outside, thank God. Fuck, you about got that blood pressure back up in the 170s immediately.